Hey, it's your boy, Michael Kosta. Tuesday, April 15th. This is the Tennis Anyone podcast. And there's a lot going on. Trump seems to be losing his mind. There's that wonderful clip of Caitlin Collins in the Oval Office saying to Trump, hey, you said before that if you made a mistake, you would send somebody back after deporting someone to that mega prison in El Salvador. And Trump just lost his cool and said, why don't you just ask me this? Why don't you just ask me this? Why don't you just ask me that you're happy that criminals have left the country or whatever? If there's no proof that this guy was a criminal, never in front of a judge, never had due process. The government even admitted that it was an administration error that he was deported in the first place. I'm not defending this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but it was agreed upon, and the courts said you got to facilitate his return. So one thing that's so wild with this Trump stuff is watch the press corps now. It really makes me appreciate what a free press can do. And what I hate about being a member of the press now is you feel this responsibility to call out the bullshit that exists in our government. But a comedian's job is to do that, right? A good comedian's job, in my opinion. But with Trump, it's just exhausting. It's all the time. I mean, he says, now that's a question when this guy says, you have done a wonderful thing, and it's not a question. We highlighted it on the Daily Show last night. Jon Stewart crushed it as per usual. He doesn't want questions. He doesn't want a free press. He wants people that compliment him. And I got to admit, as a comedian, it drives me insane. I have been around mega stars as a comedian. I have been around one I just mentioned, Jon Stewart. I have been around Regis Philbin. I have been around Gary Shandling. I have been around Trevor Noah comes to mind because of his celebrity status. Joel McHale is not an A-list celebrity. Sorry, Joel. Very funny guy. But here's what I want everyone in positions of power to understand. And I'm saying this to me if I'm ever in a legit position of power. People laugh harder at your jokes. People don't tell you the truth. People kiss your ass. And, Joe Rogan, one of the things that annoyed me the most about Joe Rogan when I was back in LA, when he was back in LA, wasn't Joe Rogan. It was everyone around him constantly pecking up, kissing ass. And it has to be hard to be a big-time celeb and deal with that and get the honest truth. I guess that's what wives are for. And I don't know how they handle it. I don't like the way my face is lit for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Yeah. The poorer you are, the more people tell you the truth. The richer you are, the more they lie to you. But in a way, it needs to be flipped. Like poor people need to be told lies so they can keep optimism and hope. And rich people need to be told, yo, you're going to die. Yo, that wasn't a funny joke. But I brought this up in the morning meeting 2 days ago. Kim Jong-il obituary. Kim Jong-il, of course, is Kim Jong-un's father. And watching all of this Trump shit made me really want to bring up this Kim Jong-il obituary and really recognize what Trump wants to be as a dictator. And what's so frustrating to most of the country, 50%, 60% of the country that didn't vote for him, is we don't want a dictator. We want checks and balances. We believe in the Constitution, or at least, the general foundation of it. But it seems like the people that don't care that he's a dictator, his voters, really only make up a fourth of the country, right? He won 79 million votes. Population USA, 340 million. So he's actually like a fifth of the country voted for Donald Trump. Less voted for Kamala. And you got to think the people that didn't vote, voter turnout USA 2024. The overall turnout of eligible voters was 63%. This was lower than the 2020 record of 66.6%, but higher than every other election year since 2004. So yeah, I mean the discussion about democracy and if America wants democracy, here we are bitching that we believe Donald Trump is unraveling democracy, but we might be ripe for the unraveling if only 63% of people are accessing democracy, engaging in democracy. And by the way, this was just voting in the presidential election. We're not talking about local. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I vote for every local election. So maybe, and this is not going to be the most favored comment that I've ever made on this podcast, but here we are pissed off that democracy is being unraveled or challenged or pushed to the limits, or maybe we haven't done a good enough job protecting, honoring our democracy. And I would love to know what the voter turnout was of the first election. Voter turnout, first presidential election. Voter turnout in the United States. I mean, how do they even determine this shit? I'm not going to read all this. Percentage. Here we go. Popular vote. 28,000. What? This can't be right. Electoral vote. Blah blah. This is a big read. Presidential elections were held in the United States December 15th, 1788 to January 7th, 1789. Under the new Constitution ratified in 1788, George Washington was unanimously elected for the first of two terms as president. This was the only U.S. president that spanned 2 calendar years. Under Articles of Confederation, right? The executive. This is a big one. This is a big read. But interesting to think about. I don't like that Trump is seemingly taking down who he believes, from universities to green cards to people that say what he doesn't like. But maybe the bigger problem here, and this is where I mean that he is a symptom, not the problem. Donald Trump arose because we haven't been honoring or taking care of our democracy. Civics classes are gone. Only 40% of the country doesn't vote. That's even, by the way, I'm victim to this too. We should all be fully voting in all of our local elections, paying attention. And we might need this big, little Donald Trump dick slap in the face. I hope it does that, but I don't know. I mean, he is like watching these people fake laugh at his jokes in the cabinet meeting. Is Kim Jong-un, are his people laughing at a dictator? I want to read Kim Jong-il's obituary. Leader of North Korea who oversaw the descent of his country into famine, isolation, and economic ruin. This is by The Guardian. This is not the obituary that he put out. I want to read the one that he put out. All right. Kim Jong-il Il was one of the most reclusive and enigmatic leaders presiding over a secretive and internationally isolated country. All right, but where's his obituary? These are all Westerners. Kim Jong-il obituary from North Korea. The Guardian. These are all of enigmatic. Define enigmatic. This difficult to interpret. Okay. Oh, you knew it. You knew it. I want to know what his obituary. It was like golf movies. Here we go. Kim Jong-il's weird life as a film fanatic. Father of North Korea was obsessed. North Korea dictator left behind. Here we go. ESPN? The greatest golfer in history is gone. North Korean dictator superstar golfer Kim Jong-il has died at 69, a fitting age because 69 is under par on every regulation course. All right, this is just part of the obituary. Kim shot 38 under, including 11 holes in one at the 7,700-yard championship course at Pyongyang in his very first golf round of his life, according to North Korean state media. Oh, that's what I should look up. This was in 1994 when Kim was 52 years old. Even more impressive, Kim stood just 5'3", yet he was able to overpower a course as long as any played in major championship history. Who knows how good Kim... Okay, this is a joke. North Korean state media. That's what I want. North Korean state media. Kim Jong-il obituary. Sorry, this is all over the place. First of all, they didn't report it. I'm going to go to Wikipedia. The death of Kim Jong-il was reported by North Korean on the 19th of December. Announced he had died of a heart attack while traveling by train. He advanced acute. Announcement. North Korea's state media did not report Kim Jong-il's death until 51 hours after it occurred, apparently due to political jockeying and discussions that surrounded the official version of his legacy, as well as agreeing upon the membership of his funeral committee. Reactions, funeral committee. The National Funeral Committee decides as follows. 232 funeral members. Wow. Funeral memorial service. Why is it so hard to fucking get his obituary? Anyways, the point is, watching all this Trump shit, people laughing at his jokes, people complimenting him, the reporter's not allowed to ask real questions. It's a dictator. He wants to be a dictator, which, by the way, we fucked up. We didn't care for our democracy. So then a small, annoying, bullying minority that is a majority because they collect together and vote elected this guy. Now we're paying for it. That's our fault. But also there are checks and balances in place to stop some of this stuff. And I hope they step up. Step up. Also, Republicans, step up. This is insane. Grow a pair. Grow a pair. This is not a Democratic Party registered member. Me, I'm not. This is an American who's worried about this shit. It's not good when $2 billion goes away from a university because the president doesn't like the way they admit people or whatever. Do you realize that Donald Trump put himself as the head of the Kennedy Center bookings because he doesn't want comedians making fun of him? I mean, what? When did these men have such small little skins? You know what I'm talking about. Taxes are due today. That's the other thing. I've never felt more confident lying on my taxes Then when Donald Trump disbanded the IRS, which, by the way, nobody pays more in taxes than your boy Kosta. I hate paying taxes. For so many years, the game was to not make any money, so you didn't have to pay taxes. Now, as an adult, I constantly have to show that I make money, so then I can buy a car or a house. I'm like, wait a second, the whole game was to not make money. Now I make money, and all these people show up to take the money. You've heard me say this before. He and Elon will disband the government enough that then it becomes incompetent. Not that it was the killer of competency before. And then they're going to say it's totally incompetent. Just we got to privatize everything. And all this stock shit. I mean, what if this was all just insider trading by him? What if this was all, hey, everybody, sell. It's going to, or short. It's going to fall. Hey, everybody, you got 2 hours to buy because it's about to go up. Ugh, frustrating. We need and want a stability. And as fucked up as Biden was with his like brain and not being able to talk and falling off a bike, the country felt more stable. And I feel like capitalism needs that. You know what I mean? So tennis is happening. Lucky Loser's still out. That's my book right there. Boom. I appreciate all of you for buying it and listening to it. I go to Amazon every once in a while just to make sure people are still reading it. We got 33 reviews. Hey, it came out a month ago. That's not bad. If we could do 33 reviews a month, we'd be in the hundreds. That'd be great. Let's just pick one review, shall we? Pick one review. Customers say, find the book humorous, with one noting how Kosta weaves life lessons throughout his entertaining stories. Moreover, this is AI, the book receives positive feedback for its readability. One customer describing it as a page turner. A hilarious, honest, and inspiring read. That's nice. Thank you. Phenomenal book. 10 out of 10. Funny, personal, enlightening. Tennis or stand-up, they both rely upon delivery. Thank you, reviewer. Ho-hum. This is a book that recounts how sports training and community provided Kosta with the wherewithal to jump into stand-up comedy. It is not a humorous book. Indeed, it reinforces the notion that it is not possible to write humor that is simply read by the reader. Humor must be delivered. I've read a great deal of material that was supposed to make me laugh hysterically, but never does. David Sedaris is an amazing writer, observer, and performer, but none of his many books have ever made me laugh out loud uncontrollably as the blurbs promise. This person is angry. This is because whether by author or by actor, humor must be delivered. This is a nice book. If you like nice memoirs, but you won't be laughing as you read it, that is a jacket blurb promise. Ooh, they don't like the blurbs. For the most part, reading by writer. I love that Michael read it. Felt like he was telling his story instead of reading. And as a tennis player, it was fun to... Okay, because they're talking about my... this is funny. As Steve-O's novel ideas... This is a guy named Steve-O. I'm a longtime book reviewer, member of the media, an influencer, and a content provider. I received this book as a review copy from either the author, the publisher, or a publicist. I can strongly say here as Michael Kosta, I don't think anybody sent him this book. I have not been compensated for this recommendation. I have given it a best of the best designation for the month of March, as it stands heads above other recently published books on this topic or of this genre. God, is this all AI bullshit? I wanted it to be real, people. Kosta is a pretty sloppy writer. Reading this book makes one wonder if an editor was involved, and if so, she or he is a worthless editor. God, people are rough. An editor was involved. I found 11 to 16 typos in my book, depending on how nitpicky you want to get. I've been told by the publisher and by everyone who's ever written a book that no matter what you do, your book will have typos. So that pisses me off. I hate that. I didn't want any typos. But this reviewer, although awfully negative, I wouldn't say my editors were worthless, but there are some typos, as there are in all books. But there's one part of the book that's really creating a lot of stir and interest in people, and that's this one part where me and my doubles partner played left-handed in the juniors this last game against some players, and we beat them, and we made a big case about us playing left-handed at the trophy ceremony. And then my parents came home, they took the trophy from me, and they made me call my opponents and apologize to them. And this is a story that a lot of different people are mentioning to me. By the way, I'll be at the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books next weekend. This weekend, I'll be in Toronto performing the Comedy Bar Danforth, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and I'm doing book signings there. And then next Thursday, I'll be at the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles, and then doing a panel, a memoir panel at the LA Times Festival of Books. So that's cool. That's something to look forward to. But a lot of people are saying, wow, this was good parents of your parents. You were a cocky son of a bitch. They made you call your opponents. It's a memory that you still remember. It taught you some lessons. And some other people are going, that's bullshit. You just beat them. It's competition. It's very aggressive by your parents. And they overstepped their boundaries as parents. So it's just towards the end. I forget what chapter it is. No, excuse me. Towards the beginning, chapter 3, chapter 4, junior tennis. And curious what you think. It's this part where me and my doubles partner, John Long, play left-handed the last game because we're beating these kids so badly. And then after we win the tournament and the match, my parents sit me down at home, take the trophy away, and they make me call the 2 players that I just beat left-handed and apologize to them for playing left-handed and being a cocky dick. And I've gone back and forth on it. I think I get what they were trying to do, but also I was 9 and 10. And as someone brought up at the Harvard bookstore book signing, you know, your parents had to go like live out in that community with those kids' parents and stuff. Good point. Good point. But I was 9, and that was just the most important thing to me, was that I was good at tennis. I didn't give a fuck about anything else. Also, it should be noted, I went on to go play on a high school tennis team with one of those players and win a state championship. I bet you the original popular vote, only 6 of the 11 states eligible to cast electoral votes. I mean, look at this. Less than 1.8% of the population voted. The 1790 census would count a total population of 3 million, with a free population of 2.4 million and 600,000 slaves in those states casting electoral votes. Those states that did choose electors by popular vote had widely varying restrictions on suffrage via property requirements. Jesus. Popular vote, George Washington won 28,009. This is just some wild shit. Electoral vote. Right. So of the popular vote, Washington won 100%. I don't entirely understand that. Here it is. Connecticut, no popular vote, no popular vote. It's just funny. The whole reason I looked this up was wondering if the forefathers would think that our current system of democracy was a success or a failure when only 65% of people vote for the president anyways. But looking at this, there were 600,000 slaves at the time of the first election. And interesting. All very, very interesting. I hope, well, we should have learned the first Trump term, but we didn't. He won again. Sorry, my nose is itching. Everybody, tennis that's happening. WTA right now is playing in Stuttgart, Germany, 500. First seed is Sabalenka. Wouldn't you want to take a break if you're Sabalenka? It's just so much tennis. Swiatek's the 2nd seed. Navarro's the 7th seed. Pegula's the 3 seed. Andreeva 6 seed. Paulini 5. Coco Gauff is 4. She hasn't played yet. The men, we have Barcelona. Carlos Alcaraz won Monte Carlo. There's a weird video of him in a very tight pair of swimming underwear jumping off the high dive at Monte Carlo. I guess that's a thing. And then immediately he's got to play in Barcelona. And immediately he beats this American 2-6. He beats Ethan Quinn. What? He's 123. He's from Fresno, California, coached by Brad Stein. 180 pounds, 21 years old, 6'3". I'm sorry, Ethan. I don't know who the fuck you are. He qualified. No, he didn't. He was straight in. Is that right? It doesn't even have a fucking bio. Let's see. Entered school as an enrollee in January. Unanimous #1 junior prospect in the nation before coming to Georgia. Made University of Georgia Athletic Director's honor roll with a high GPA. Ranked #1 in the USTA juniors. Advanced to the U.S. Open junior doubles semifinals with doubles finalists in the boys 18 at Kalamazoo. Worked with current Tommy Paul coach Brad Stein. Won 2020 boys 16 Orange Bowl doubles title and captured 2019 USTA 16 singles national championship. Nice. So this kid can play. And for some reason, he beat Jamin Thompson in Houston, lost to Smith, an American in Houston, in the round of 16. Miami, he beat Manarino in the first round qualifying, which is kind of nuts that Manarino's in the first round qualifying. Beat an Argentine second round. Indian Wells, he won first round qualifying, won second round qualifying, lost in the round of 128. This guy can play. Duh, he can play. He lost. No, that's Monte Carlo. He lost to Alcaraz in a pretty tight match. Alcaraz overcomes Quinn in nervy Barcelona opener. So yeah, Alcaraz beats Musetti to win Monte Carlo. He beat Davidovich Fokina in the semifinal. Musetti had a great tournament. It's a 13 seed. Let's track Musetti, shall we? Musetti. Berrettini beats Zverev, #1 seed. He's back, baby. Musetti beat Bu from qualifier from China, 6-3 in the third. Then he beat Lehechka, 6-2 in the third. Then he beat Berrettini, 3-3. Then he beat Tsitsipas, 4 in the third. Then he beat Dumanor, 7-6 in the third. Then he lost to Alcaraz. Really, though, what you got to understand was that Alex de Minaur beat Grigor Dimitrov, the 15th player in the world, 6-0, 6-0. And they actually played it. It wasn't like he was sick or something. He shook his hand after. 6-0, 6-0. So for anybody out there pissed off that you lost a bad match, Grigor Dimitrov, whose career high is 3 in the world, who's won $30 million career prize money, who has won tours and finals. He won 4 tournaments in 2017, including Cincinnati, including the year-end championships. He lost 0-0. That's crazy. It's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in Toronto this weekend, the Comedy Bar in Danforth. I'll see you in L.A. at the Hollywood Improv on Thursday. I'll see you at the L.A. Festival of Books Saturday for my memoir panel. Thank you for reading Lucky Loser. Audio book is available. Please leave a rating and a review for the book. Pass the book around. Tell your friends you love it. I really appreciate that. I put my fucking heart and soul in this thing. Embarrassing, some of these stories. Pay your taxes, death and taxes, and Barcelona's happening right now. And what is the answer for Trump? Be more engaged in your democracy. Don't accept his bullshit, maybe. There's a very funny AI video generator that's like all these big fat Americans working at assembly lines, like putting screws in iPhones. And it makes me laugh. I'm down with bringing American manufacturing back. I'm also down to paying more money for American-made goods. But I also am not the average American. If I was making what the average American is making, I don't know if I could handle that. So my point is, it's a wealthy privilege to be able to say I can pay more money for stuff. And it's wild what he's trying to do with this tariff shit. And we're all getting trapped and caught up in it because of his ego. Ladies and gentlemen, see you in Toronto. Game, set, match. Kosta.